Hello, I am Gregory, and as I mentioned in my previous video, this pen was Lamy's last chance. And the fact that I'm coming back so quickly might suggest to you what the result was. Yes. So this is the Lamy LX, or I guess I've heard it's intended to be pronounced Lux, the Lamy LX. Yeah. First of all, there were some comments exchanged in the last video because this looks gray and does not match the tube that it came in at all, which is absolutely true. They're two different colors. But I have deduced that this looks more gray under this lighting than it actually is. The clip is that sort of bronze color, so that suggests to me that this is the intended color of the pen. I thought it was going to be this color. So that right off the bat, it's not the pen that I imagined it would be. It looks better. It looks better in pictures, photographs in particular. For some reason in my video, it looks completely gray. All right, but that aside, I have deduced this is the right color that was sent to me. It just looks gray on camera, particularly when you compare it to this, because this is the color I thought it was going to be, but it's not. But in daylight, it does look more brown. And the clip, again, is that sort of bronze color. All right, but that aside, this is a scratchy pen. Yeah. First of all, I made this when I worked in the public library. We had a 3D printer, and I printed that out. Super cool. Anyway. Yes. It's scratchy. Like, pretty much every experience I have had with Lamy has been scratchy nibs. And I think at certain angles it could be construed as feedback, but in certain other angles it's definitely scratchy. So as you're naturally writing, you know, you might have some strokes that are okay and just a little feedback, but then you hit a stroke and it's like, whoa, that was scratchy. And that has been the case with this pen. Yeah, so this is going to be my last Lamy. I gave them one last shot. This was supposed to be a better nib than the ones that come on the Safari. And that was not my experience at all. So I've come to the conclusion about people that love Lamy fountain pens. I think, giving them the benefit of the doubt, I think they tend to be the people that enjoy feedback in their pens, and that's perfectly fine. But I am not one of those people. I do not like feedback in general. The less, the better. There are some acceptable levels, but this is on the end of feedback to scratchiness, in my opinion. And it's not just this pen. I'll show you some more pens. I have all, I think all my Lamys here, so I'll show those in a moment. But giving people the benefit of the doubt, I think people that enjoy Lamy pens tend to enjoy a little feedback in their pens. Feel free to comment down below if that is your experience. And you know, we all have different ideas of what feedback is, what scratchiness is. To me, scratchiness is when you're writing and you could feel things going on with the paper, like you know, the pen is scratching the paper. And that has been the case with basically all of my Lamys. So, but nevertheless, you know, for all of you that have great experiences with Lamy, more power to you. I'm no longer chalking this up to bad luck because after this is my 6th Lamy fountain pen. That can't be bad luck. So I think I have different tastes that Lamy just does not fulfill. So anyway, there you have that. So let's get this back in here. Set this here. Yeah, so super disappointed. Super disappointed. I'll show you some of my others. We'll start with at the low end. This is the Lamy LX M, because it does have the metal body. You know, not horrible, but definitely a lot of feedback. A lot of feedback. So that's a no. And that's actually in my pile to get rid of, actually. Another one that's in my pile to get rid of is this one. And this originally had, I think, either a fine or a medium nib on it, which of course was scratchy. So I exchanged it for this. I love stub nibs, so I exchanged it for this 1.9 stub nib, and it's scratchy. So that's in the pile to give away. Oh, this one I have had the longest. This was my first Lamy with a broad nib. And I've done a ton of work on this nib. A ton of work on this nib, and it's still scratchy. It's better than when I first got it, but it's still scratchy. All right, so this one is hands down the best Lamy in my collection, straight out of the box. This is the Lamy Icon, and it has a broad nib. And it's fairly smooth. It is fairly smooth. So very pleased with this one. This will be a permanent member of the collection. And then the last one is the Lamy Ion. This came with a broad nib. And I have since, that was scratchy, of course. So I have since replaced it with a gold nib. And it's much, much better. I will say it's much, much better, but I expect better from the gold nib. It's definitely not perfect. Definitely not perfect. And it being a gold nib, I do not want to mess with it. So I'm just going to accept it how it is. My biggest complaint about this pen is the cap just spins freely. It's, you know, it's a snap cap, but it just spins freely. I hate that. But anyway, there you go. That's my Lamy collection. These two are definitely going. This one, I suppose I'll hold on to it, and we'll see. This one will stay. I mean, it has the gold nib, so it has to stay. But fortunately, this, I bought it through Pen Chalet, and I explained my woes to them. And I was disappointed because I read their return policy, and it said that they only take returns on unused pens. And I was like, well, you're not going to find out a pen is bad until you use it. But they have excellent customer service. So they have agreed to take the pen back. So, and I explained to them, I've always had bad luck with Lamy nibs being scratchy, and I feel it's a defect. So, and yet, you know, it's on almost every single Lamy I've ever used. And there's other nibs, aside from these pens, there's other nibs that I've tried and have swapped out because they were not good. So I have even more experience than this. But yes, Pen Chalet is great. They're going to take this back. Yeah, so happy about that. But anyway, that's my Lamy experience. Again, that is going to be the last Lamy I ever purchase. I will never purchase another one. I've given them chance after chance after chance, multiple nibs, a gold nib, and it seems like they rarely get it right, at least for my tastes. And again, I consider it scratchy, so yeah, if you enjoy a scratchy nib, you might enjoy a Lamy. Or heavy feedback. We'll be polite and say it's heavy feedback because, yeah. Anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd do an update of this pen, because I did say in the last video it was going to be my last Lamy pen, and it is. I will never buy another Lamy. Sorry to those of you that really enjoy Lamy. We just have different tastes in pens, and maybe you're a little more forgiving than I am. I expect top quality from my pens. I expect little, if any, feedback. And typically, you know, when I hear from other reviewers that a pen has feedback, I'll stay away from that pen. That's why I don't have a Sailor. That's why I don't have some other brands that are kind of, you know, known for having feedback. And there's people that enjoy feedback, and I accept that. But again, I'm not one of those people, so unfortunately, Lamy is not a brand for me. Again, if you enjoy Lamy pens and like feedback, you know, more power to you, definitely. But anyway, I'm pleased I'll be able to return this because, you know, I got it on sale, but it was not cheap. So, yeah, no more Lamys for me. I have a couple that I can work with, and this one I'm just keeping just because I'm a YouTuber and it's handy to have a standard Safari around. These two are gonna go bye-bye. And this is going bye-bye. This is going back to its proper home, the store. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.